Welcome to Cardano for Everyone, a podcast series from Pasta Steak Pool. Each episode explores something new about Cardano in a way that's simple and accessible for everyone. In the mood for some Cardano magic? Let's get started.
All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we're diving headfirst into the world of Ethereum.
Ethereum.
You've heard of Bitcoin, right?
Oh, of course. Everyone's heard of Bitcoin.
Well, think of Ethereum that like Bitcoin's more advanced. We've got a ton of research piled up here, and it's juicy stuff, so let's get into it.
Sounds good. What's interesting is that, unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum isn't just a digital currency. It's a platform for building applications, or what we call dApps.
Yachts.
Yep, dApps, decentralized applications. Think of it like a decentralized internet. No one entity controls it.
Okay, so if Bitcoin's like digital cash, is Ethereum like the entire digital bank? Like with ATMs and everything?
That's a pretty good analogy. It's this platform aspect that makes Ethereum second generation, as we call it. It's not just about sending money, it's about building a whole new way to do business online.
All right, you've got me hooked. But before we go any further, let's rewind a bit. Where did this Ethereum thing even come from?
It all started back in 2013 with a young programmer named Vitalik Buterin. He was really into Bitcoin, but saw that it had limitations. Vitalik wanted a platform that could do more than just handle currency. He envisioned a decentralized world computer, and that's how Ethereum was born.
So this one guy had an idea that changed the entire game. Wow.
Right. And to fund it, in 2014, Vitalik and his team did a crowdfunding thing. It was a massive success. They raised over $18 million, all in Bitcoin, a record at the time. And by 2015, the Ethereum network was live.
That's a fast turnaround. Okay, so let's break down the differences between Ethereum and Bitcoin. But keep it simple for those of us who aren't, coding geniuses.
Sure. One of the biggest differences is the concept of smart contracts.
Smart contract.
Imagine agreements, but they're written in code and execute automatically. Let's say you want to buy a concert ticket online. With a smart contract, the whole thing is automated. The seller puts the ticket up for sale, you pay, and the smart contract instantly sends you the ticket.
So you're saying no more Ticketmaster?
Exactly. You get rid of the middleman, making things more secure and efficient.
All right, I can get behind that. Now, what about this gas I keep hearing about on Ethereum?
Gas is the fee you pay to execute a transaction or a smart contract on Ethereum. You can think of it like paying a toll to use a highway.
So the more complicated the transaction, the higher the toll.
Precisely. And just like with tolls, the gas price can change depending on how congested the network is.
Makes sense. So besides smart contracts and gas, what else is different between Bitcoin and Ethereum?
Well, there's how they reach consensus. That's how they agree on which transactions are valid and get added to the blockchain.
Okay, I'm following.
Initially, both Bitcoin and Ethereum use proof of work, which used computers to solve complex math problems to secure the network. A very energy-intensive process.
Not exactly environmentally friendly.
You're right. That's why in 2022, Ethereum made a big move called the merge. They switched to proof of stake.
The merge? Sounds intense.
It was a huge step. They moved from that energy-heavy proof of work to proof of stake. Instead of computers solving puzzles, people stake their ether as collateral to validate transactions.
Kind of like putting down a deposit to show you're trustworthy.
Exactly. This slashed Ethereum's energy use by a crazy 99.95%.
That's incredible. So the merge was about making Ethereum greener and more efficient. Anything else?
Well, the merge was also a key part of making Ethereum more scalable, meaning it can handle way more transactions per second.
So it can grow without slowing down.
Right. Now, did Ethereum sail smoothly from launch to the merge? Not quite. One of the most, let's say, eventful moments was the DAO incident back in 2016.
Oh, yeah, I've heard whispers about that. What happened?
The DAO, or Decentralized Autonomous Organization, was this ambitious project, like a venture capital fund, but run by code. And it got hacked. Millions of dollars in ether, gone.
Wait, the decentralized secure system got hacked? That doesn't sound very secure.
It was a major setback. And to fix it, they decided to fork the blockchain. Basically, create a new version of Ethereum that reversed the hack.
So they hit the reset button.
You could say that. But not everyone agreed with this decision. Some felt it went against the whole idea of decentralization.
So it caused a rift.
It did. It split the community, leading to two blockchains, Ethereum as we know it, and Ethereum Classic, which stuck to the original.
So there are two Ethereums now. This is getting complicated.
It can be, but it shows how complex building a decentralized system really is. The DAO incident forced them to think about governance, security, the very nature of decentralization.
Sounds like they learned some hard lessons early on. But I bet those weren't the only challenges, were they?
Nope. After the DAO incident, Ethereum went through tons of upgrades, like software updates for your phone, but for a massive network. These were hard forks, and they were essential to fix growing pains.
So always patching and improving.
Always. Upgrades like Byzantium and Constantinople optimized smart contracts, reduced gas costs, and made the network run smoother.
So it was about making Ethereum more user-friendly.
It was all about paving the way for wider adoption, and of course, leading up to the merge.
All right, so we've got the basics. How Ethereum works, its origins, some of the drama along the way. But what about its real-world impact? How are people actually using it?
That's where things get even more interesting. Ethereum's impact goes way beyond just being a cryptocurrency. It's the foundation for a whole ecosystem of those dApps we talked about, and they're changing everything.
Okay, hit me with the mind-blowing stuff.
One of the biggest areas is decentralized finance, or DeFi. It's a parallel financial system built on the blockchain, offering things like lending, borrowing, trading, even insurance, but without the need for banks.
So it's finance, but without the big institutions calling the shots. Sounds pretty revolutionary.
It is. It's about giving individuals more control over their money.
We got a sneak peek at this whole decentralized finance thing, DeFi, right? Sounds like the Wild West, but for money.
Yeah, DeFi is a wild world for sure. It's essentially a bunch of financial apps built on blockchain, mostly Ethereum. It's like a financial system, but open to anyone.
So no more banks. Just a bunch of code deciding who gets a loan.
Well, it's not that simple, but yeah, that's the general idea. Think about it. Getting a loan without going to a bank, earning interest without a savings account, that's the potential of DeFi.
Okay, that sounds awesome, but also maybe a little scary. Is this DeFi stuff only for, like, tech wizards?
It can seem complicated, but it's becoming more user-friendly. There are platforms now that make it easy for everyone to use DeFi services, even if you don't know much about blockchain.
So you're telling me I could ditch my bank and just use a bunch of smart contracts instead? Is that even a good idea?
Well, DeFi is still young. There are risks, like with anything new. But the potential is huge. It's definitely worth learning about.
All right, DeFi is officially on my to-learn list. But I know Ethereum's not just about finance, right? What else is it shaking up?
Another big area is non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. They've been all over the art and collectibles world, but they can do so much more than that.
NFTs, those digital things everyone's spending millions on. I still don't really get them.
Imagine an NFT as a digital certificate of ownership for a unique thing. Could be a piece of art, a song, a virtual item in a game, even a tweet. Each one is unique and can't be copied.
So instead of owning a painting, you own a digital record of it on the blockchain.
Exactly. And that ownership is secure and transparent. Anyone can see who owns an NFT at any time.
Okay, I get that part. But why are they worth so much money? It's just a JPEG.
Part of it is hype, for sure. But NFTs represent a new way to own digital stuff, which is a big deal for some people. They could change how we think about ownership in the digital world.
So there's more to it than just owning a digital image. Like, what kind of potential are we talking about?
Imagine your concert ticket is an NFT, and it gives you access to exclusive content. Or owning virtual land in a metaverse, that's an NFT too.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. That's pretty cool. But let's zoom out for a sec. We've talked a lot about the amazing stuff, but what about the downsides of Ethereum? What challenges does it face?
Every technology has its limits. One of the biggest ones for Ethereum is scalability. The more people use it, the slower transactions get, and fees go up, like traffic on a busy highway.
So Ethereum's success is also its problem. The more popular it gets, the harder it is to use.
Kind of, yeah. But the developers are working on solutions like Layer 2 networks and sharding, which can handle more transactions without compromising security.
So it's like adding more lanes to that highway.
And these solutions are super important for Ethereum to succeed in the long run. But scalability isn't the only challenge.
What else is there?
Security is a big one. Ethereum itself is very secure, but the dApps built on top of it, well, they can be vulnerable to hacks if they're not coded perfectly. Remember the DAO incident?
Right, that was a wake-up call for sure.
And then there's the whole issue of regulations. Governments are still figuring out how to deal with crypto, and this uncertainty makes it hard for businesses and individuals to navigate the Ethereum world.
So it's like exploring a new land without a map.
That's a good way to put it. Regulation is needed to protect people, but it also has to allow for innovation. It's a tricky balance. But let's end on a positive note. We've talked about challenges, so what about the future? What's exciting you about Ethereum?
Yeah, let's look ahead.
One of the most exciting things is the rise of DAOs, or decentralized autonomous organizations. They're like companies or communities run by code without any central authority.
Organizations run entirely by code. That sounds straight out of science fiction.
It does, right?
Mm.
But DAOs are already being used for real things. There are DAOs that manage investment funds, support charities, even govern online communities.
So it's like everyone gets a say, and the code makes it happen.
Yeah. DAOs offer a new way to organize ourselves with more transparency and fairness.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. But how do these DAOs actually work? Give me some real-world examples.
Picture a DAO managing a crypto investment fund. The members pool their money, and the DAO's code automatically invests it based on certain rules.
So instead of a Wall Street hotshot, you've got a smart contract making the calls.
And because everything's transparent and on the blockchain, members can see exactly how their money is being used.
That's pretty amazing. Any other DAOs doing cool stuff out there?
There's one funding scientific research. Researchers submit proposals to the DAO, and the members vote on which ones get funded.
So it's like Kickstarter for scientists.
Kind of. And there are DAOs managing online communities, making group decisions, even funding creative projects. The possibilities are huge.
DAOs sound like they could change everything from finance to research to how we make decisions. But Ethereum's not the only game in town, right? What about platforms like Solana or Cardano? How do they stack up?
That's a great point. Ethereum's the biggest and most used platform for dApps and smart contracts, but there are definitely other options out there, each with its own pros and cons.
All right, let's have a blockchain face-off. What are the main differences?
Well, Solana is known for being super fast and having low fees. Developers and users love it because it's just so efficient.
So Solana's like the speedster of blockchain.
It's a newer platform, and it's making waves, especially in DeFi. Now, Cardano, it's all about security and taking a very academic approach. They really focus on research and making sure the platform is rock solid.
So if Solana is the speedster, Cardano is the cautious professor.
And there are loads of other platforms popping up, each trying to find its own place in the blockchain world.
It sounds like there's a lot of healthy competition, which is great for pushing innovation. But with so many options, how do you even know which one to use or invest in?
It really boils down to what you need and what's important to you. Do you care most about speed, cost, security, or the types of dApps available? Do your research, understand the trade-offs, then make your decision.
Solid advice. This is a lot to absorb, but it's mind-blowing to think we're still in the early days. Who knows what's coming next?
I know, right? It's such a fascinating and rapidly evolving field. There will be bumps along the way, for sure, but the potential to change industries, empower people, and create a more decentralized world is enormous.
I love that. But before we get too carried away, let's bring it back to our listeners. Why should they care about any of this? How does this affect them?
That's a key question. Whether they know it or not, blockchain technology is already impacting their lives. The way they bank, shop, interact online, it's all being shaped by these crypto innovations.
So it's bigger than just investing in crypto. It's about understanding how this tech is changing the world.
Exactly. It's about seeing how decentralization can empower people, disrupt industries, and create opportunities. It's about understanding the changes happening now and being ready for the future.
Well said. Now, for our final thoughts, let's step into another fascinating corner of the Ethereum universe, Web3.
Web3, the next generation of the internet. It's all about building a more decentralized web where users have more control over their data and how they experience the internet.
Okay, paint me a picture. What does this Web3 world look like?
Imagine a web without constant tracking and targeted ads where you own your data and choose how it's used. Imagine a web where power is spread out instead of being controlled by a handful of giant companies. That's the promise of Web3.
So it's about taking power back from the big tech companies and giving it to the people.
And Ethereum's a key part of making this happen. A lot of the tech we've talked about, like blockchain, smart contracts, DAOs, these are the building blocks of Web3.
So Ethereum is more than just a currency. It's a way to build a whole new internet.
That's right. And while it's early days, the potential is huge. We're just beginning to see what a decentralized web can do.
But like any new frontier, there will be challenges. What are the biggest hurdles for Web3?
One is usability. Right now, using Web3 apps can be pretty technical and confusing for the average person. We need better designs, easier tools, and more education to make Web3 truly accessible to everyone.
So right now it's like the old days of the internet, where you needed to be a programmer to even send an email.
But things are changing fast. Another challenge is getting different blockchain networks to work together. Right now, they're like separate islands, making it hard to move data and assets between them.
So like different countries with different languages and currencies, not very efficient.
But there are projects working on connecting these islands to make Web3 more seamless.
So the future of Web3 depends on making it easier to use and creating a more connected system.
Absolutely. And those are just two of the challenges ahead. But the potential benefits are enormous. A more decentralized, user-centric internet could unleash a wave of innovation and empower people in ways we haven't even imagined yet.
This deep dive has taken us from the basics of Ethereum to its impact on finance, art, and the future of the internet itself. It's been an incredible journey.
It really has. I hope our listeners have gained a new appreciation for this revolutionary technology.
I know I have. But the more we learn, the more questions we seem to have. So for our final thought, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about. As Ethereum and the Web3 ecosystem keep growing, what role do you see yourself playing in this decentralized future?
Whether you're a developer, an investor, an artist, or just someone who's curious, the future of this technology is being shaped right now. The choices we make today will determine what kind of decentralized world we build tomorrow.
That's a powerful message. It's been quite a ride exploring Ethereum, hasn't it? From smart contracts to DeFi, and now this whole Web3 thing. It's a lot to process.
It really is. And it's exciting to think we're still in the early stages of this technology. Who knows what kind of innovations we'll see in the years to come.
That's what I keep thinking. But right now, it feels like Web3 is still kind of a secret club for tech insiders. How do we make it more accessible for everyday people?
That's a challenge for sure. Right now, using Web3 applications often requires some technical know-how. We need simpler interfaces, better tools, more educational resources. We need to make interacting with Web3 as easy as using your favorite social media app.
That's a great goal. So user experience is one hurdle. What else is holding Web3 back?
Another big one is interoperability, getting different blockchains to talk to each other.
Yeah, that's not ideal, like trying to travel between countries with different languages, currencies, and customs. It can be a real headache.
We need to build bridges between these blockchain islands to create a more seamless Web3 experience.
Makes sense. So, easier to use and better connected. What other exciting developments are on the horizon for this whole decentralized future we keep talking about?
One thing I'm particularly excited about is the potential to empower creators and build a fairer digital economy. With NFTs, artists, musicians, all kinds of creators can connect directly with their audiences and earn a living without relying on traditional gatekeepers.
You mean no more record labels or big streaming platforms taking a huge cut?
Exactly. NFTs are just one example of how Ethereum enables new forms of ownership, collaboration, and value creation. We're seeing so much innovation happening in gaming, music, the creator economy, all powered by this decentralized foundation.
It's really amazing to think about all the possibilities. But we'd be remiss if we didn't address some of the concerns around Ethereum and the whole crypto space.
You're absolutely right. One of the biggest ones is the environmental impact. Even though Ethereum switched to proof of stake to reduce its energy consumption, some people are still worried about the overall energy usage, especially as the network grows.
So even with the eco-friendly upgrade, sustainability is still an issue. Any other criticisms we should talk about?
Another one is the potential for misuse, like scams, hacks, and money laundering. These things have happened, and it makes some people question the security and legitimacy of the whole crypto space.
I guess, like any powerful technology, it can be used for good or bad.
We have to remember that technology itself isn't inherently good or bad, it's how people use it that matters. The Ethereum community is working hard to make things safer, promote ethical practices, and educate people about the risks.
It sounds like a constant process of learning, adapting, and working together to make sure this technology benefits everyone.
And it's a conversation that needs to include everyone involved: developers, policymakers, investors, and everyday users like us.
Well, this has been an incredible journey exploring Ethereum, its history, its impact, and the exciting but challenging road ahead. From self-executing contracts to decentralized finance to the vision of a Web3 world, it's been quite a ride.
It really has. And I hope everyone listening has come away with a better understanding of this incredible technology and its potential to change the world.
I know I have.
Whether you're a programmer, an investor, a musician, an artist, or just someone who's curious, we're all shaping the future of this technology right now. And the choices we make today will determine the kind of decentralized world we build tomorrow.
That's a powerful message and a perfect note to end on. Thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Ethereum. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. And remember, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep diving deep.
Thank you for being part of Cardano for Everyone. We hope you gained something valuable from today's episode. If you'd like to support our mission of making Cardano knowledge accessible for all, consider selecting Pasta from the pool list when you delegate. Every bit of support helps us bring more content to listeners like you. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll see you on the next episode.